Getting out of bed, weary, slightly sleep deprived, and not feeling top. I walked over to my desk, and my brain told me that you're sleep deprived, so the video you will record won't even be that good. You don't even need to record a video, right? Shrugged my shoulder, accepted the reason for me not doing the work, and continued on with my day. I went outside, ran, looked over at the beach, and it was still dark, for it was only 5 a.m. yet. I do my kind of running, which is literally me just running wildly from and to a spot, almost like I was doing relay or something. Doing relay kind of running for about 10 minutes, my brain started telling me and giving me visions from the most luminous of mothers. Playing video games is actually important. You have to work so hard, right? So you have a couple of hours. Why not make some progress? Kill some Imperial scums? Maybe clear a dungeon? Beat the fuck out of some green skins in a base builder total war game? Why not? Games, after all, teach one to grind, so it's quite valuable. Mind you, this was the same brain that told us watching porn hundreds of times was actually kind of healthy. The same brain that told us it was fine to take it a little bit of easy at the end of the hard day. Especially when you're in ground mode. It's a good idea to cheat on my diet because I'm bulking, right? It's the same brain that tells you there is no way to succeed in business, so you might as well take 2 weeks off and have a little fun, and then maybe later you will find a better business model. You need time, right? Time, and you will eventually figure it out. Pick up later. We can do a week or two or tomorrow. Pick it up later. The same brain that tells you can do it right the day after, but you keep pushing it off. Tomorrow I'll do it, but then tomorrow you will say tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow, and you will keep pushing it off, and it will never happen. It never ever happened. It's the same monkey mind that bottlenecks your progress. Honestly, sometimes it helps, as I feel like I could relax if I gave in. Oh, I could relax if I just gave in. I haven't been able to beat it, so why not do a little anime openings and some video games? I'm free after all. I have the whole weekend. School was shit and I need to recover for more than 2 days. It's fine to cheat on my diet. It's just one time anyways, right? Like, it won't make a difference, will it? Like, it won't really do any difference. And it feels like releasing that tension is probably the best thing I can do. Yeah, I think that's how I will do it. I think that's my day. So, what rice, pasta, or snacks will I eat? I walk in, prepare a bunch of bench food, croissants from the freezer, all the family bread, rice about ready on the stove, a little bit of ground beef added, mountains of food. I put 3 pizza plates on my desk. Then putting on anime and video games. In hours of doing this, my brain started activating again, but this time another part did. The part that says, what task am I going to do today? And I answer in my head, scripting, reading, gym, healthy diet. Oh well, I've already relapsed on my diet, and I really can't bring myself now to script. Too tired now. Tired from all the food and carb and brain fog. Besides, I'm sleep deprived anyway, so if I wait until tomorrow, I will be more energetic and the video will be better. You have probably realized this yourself. You. That your brain might actually be your bottleneck right now. You might realize that that part of brain, that craving, is telling you to relapse, to not do the habit you should do. You'll probably realize that by this point. And then you find all excuses. And the thing is, it works so well because your subconscious monkey evil part of the brain knows you so well. So it has the perfect excuses for the perfect moment. You're like, oh, but I won't. Oh man, you will. You need to, I don't know, like the first step is realizing that the brain, one part of your brain doesn't want the best for you. And then the second, I guess, is treating it when it actually happens, or trying to lessen the cravings, which could be not thinking about the thing as much. And then when it actually happens, you need to, right, when the craving occurs, then you need to treat that. So there are many different steps. I won't cover all the steps in this video, but my point is that there is this brain that tells us it's fine to do this fapping session, it's time to relapse, it's you know, it's actually healthy to watch porn once in a while. It's like, we need some moderation. Like, you get this damn, it's not really you. You're like, oh, I want to make as much progress as possible, but then your craving is so strong, so you're like, okay, sure, I it's not really important. It's like a universal law that's keeping you from where you are. It's like it's a test. If you fail this test, it's like your instructor tells you, oh yeah, if you go out of that door, you can make $1 million a month. And then you do. And then you could have gotten 10 million if you didn't go out, because if you succeeded in the trial, you will get 10 million. But that, oh, I can get 1 million right now. Then you flee from the prison. You're like, I can get 1 million if I get out of prison now. But then he doesn't tell you that if you stay in prison another week or two, you will get 10 million. You will get 10 times that amount. You see what I mean? That's the same brain. After day 2, you're like, oh, I can have so much fun right now to watch anime, do this. But then if you stay a whole week without that, you'll get 5 times more happiness, 5 times more, results. Right? It's a trial. It's a trial by your evil brain. And the thing is, me realizing that it's not evil, in fact, it is my best ally. You know why? Because it tests me. It's like the feminine, right? The feminine energy. It tests you constantly. It tests you. And the thing is, this thing will be, not as hard. It will be easy. Everything will be easier as you get through like a week or two. It takes like 2 weeks, and then the cravings are not as strong, and then you can probably easily get over it, right? Because if you get through the first 1 or 2 weeks, then after that, it will be much easier, right? But this thing will be constantly in your mind. It doesn't disappear. Really successful guys, they still like mess up sometimes. They're like, some of the most successful people get degenerates. They're training 3 times a day kickboxing, then they're degenerates, right? There are many athletes who falls off because degeneracy and so on. This brain will always be there. So you need to recognize that brain will always be there, and you need to know that brain is, yeah, it's kind of evil, but you can also think of it in this way. It's your best ally, because you are now full of direction. Oh, what purpose? What purpose? You know what you shouldn't do? If you don't do that thing, then it will show itself. It's what people say. They say, oh, when you actually detach from technology, detach from instant gratification, at that point you will start realizing your purpose and direction. It is kind of like that. But the thing is, your brain tells you, it's like a test, right? The tester, it's fine to play video games. If you like, okay, I agree with that. It's like, it's the instructor telling you, yeah, you can get 1 million a month. Get out right now. You get 1 million a month. And then it doesn't tell you can get 10 million, right, if you stay. That's this thing I said earlier. It's the same with the brain. It's testing you. Will he crumble at day 1, day 2, day 3? He actually wants you to stay, But he has hard tests because he doesn't accept you being lazy. He does not accept you be falling off or being complacent. That's why he does testing every single day. You're like, oh, but that is not true. It is kind of true, and if you think I actually think it's true. But if you think in those lines, right, that it's a test, let's say it's a feminine, right? She's like, you make $1 million a month, and she's just like, oh, why didn't you pick up the milk? And then he said, oh, I forgot. And then, but I said one thing, you should pick up the milk. Oh, but I made $1 million. Like, you see, it's, if you can show your emotional stability even in a moment of the most growth, that's why I've read a lot about these spiritual books, and they do the same, right? They're like talking about unrelated stuff because they want to feel your strength, so they want to see. It's like another test. It's like, yeah, it is annoying, but that's life, bro. It's testing everywhere. Life is a race, and it's testing. Everything in life is a test. Your actions is a test, and the actions you do over time results in outcome. Input, outcome. Inputs. What inputs are you doing? Do you get swayed by outside forces? Do you this and that? Inputs result in outputs. Right? Life is, yeah, you can complain, but that's life, right? It's life. Testing. It's a test. Test. Will you fail? Will you relapse? Will you crumble? It's a test. And when you procrastinate, you fail the test. And not only do you fail the test, you feel this shame because you failed the quest, the trial. And shame is the worst energy you can bring. So, when you fail, and actually you can fail in 2 ways. They say failing is really good because failing leads to success. One kind of failing does. Not the failing by me not doing the hard work, but me doing everything I could but still failed. If I do everything I could, or literally, like a lot, maybe not everything, but I train 2-3 times a day. I eat the right diet. I'm consistent sleep routine. Like I'm like, it's my purpose. I'm prioritizing it. I'm going all in on fighting or YouTube, and I still fail. Then that's not shame. That's it's a little sad. And if you have the good mindset, you're like, oh, we'll keep going until it succeeds. Because I see people every day doing it. So I know that I can do it because I know guys who are like even starting worse than me. Like guys who have a worse starting point than me and they got millions. So it's 100% possible. It's my mindset that's constraining me. It is easy to make money. The only problem is me. I need to become a person who can do that. I physically can. It is possible. Right? Mind breaking those limiting beliefs. It is possible. And so I just do it until it fucking works, bro. But you breaking promise to yourself will give you shame, and shame will fuel the monkey mind that tells you to do those bad habits and tells you to take a little easy, takes you, that brain. You fuel it by shame. Shame and anxiety and all those things fuel it. Breaking your promise, lying, all those bad things, these lies, breaking promises, shame, all those things that are sins in religion and in this world is a fundamental truth. Shame is a sin, honestly, and breaking promises is a sin. All these things are sin. Lying, every religion says you should never lie. It's a sin, bro. And you're like, oh, but it's fine to lie. Sometimes it's good. Like, you don't understand. You think in every situation, oh, lying will actually help me, ethically correct. It's not ethically correct, but consequences are better if I do this. My friend won't be this, and it's a fundamental truth that it's a bad thing. And you know this, so why are you doing it? Oh, but it can actually benefit me. You bring the worst energy when you shame and lie, right? You bring the worst energy, breaking promises to yourself, words to yourself. That is so bad. You hear about this guy to say, build a better relationship with yourself, have easy goal, record one video and actually do it, and then hype up, feel good. I actually recorded one really good video today. There's a reason why almost all, addiction therapy or whatever, you know, all these athletes and all these have this mindset, all the successful guys, because they help. It's the self-growth. It's the person who, you don't make 10K a month, you become the person who can make 10K a month, and then time will make you're the person who can get 10K a month. You have become the person now. You can, yeah, definitely you can probably become a billionaire. Like, it's possible if you do everything. I think it's possible because there are people who does that in years. Like, it is humanly possible. At least a millionaire, right? It's possible to get success, but you need to become the person. You have the potential to be whatever, but right now you not. You need to shed you know, your identity, shed layers of yourself. You know, maybe better habits, better mindset, more work rate, and so on. You know, better mindset, work rate, and so on, habits and all that stuff. You can get there, right? But when you break promise to yourself, that's when you start lying, and one white lie goes to the next and next and next, and then you will be there saying, oh, tomorrow I will start recording, and then it's been 2 weeks, and then you feel like shit, and then it's at the point where you're like, the thing is, and then the thing is, you're on self-point, you say, oh, I quit on bad habits, I'm doing bad habits every day, I can't quit them. The bad habits by themselves, yeah, gives you negative effect, but you know what gives you the most negative effect? That is shaming, because before you found about, let's say, self-improvement, you found about, oh, these habits are bad, then you didn't feel good. Of course, you weren't on top of the world as you are when you're hard on self-improvement. Yeah, you didn't feel as good, but you didn't feel as bad as when you are on self-improvement and is in a rut. A self-improvement rut is probably one of the worst feelings you have. The reason is because you're in a rut. And the reason why these ruts feel so bad is because it's shame involved. You feel shame because you know you shouldn't really be doing it. Shame is the absolute worst energy you can bring. And then you might argue a weak argument, a weak mindset. You're like, oh, but so, you've destroyed my life, because if before self-improvement I wasn't as depressed, I wasn't as. You need to realize that when you have found the truth, it cannot be unseen. It's like you find the carnivore diet. If you're not on the carnivore diet, then you will feel shame because you know the carnivore diet works best. You have tried it, you feel amazing carnivore, but you need to cheat on your diet. Then you feel worse than before finding about carnivore. That's a fundamental truth. The truth cannot be unseen, and you need to learn that. You're like, oh, but it doesn't work for me. It's a slow process, bro. Celebrate small wins. If you cheat every day, cheating 5 times a week is fine. Literally, cheating 5 times a day, 5 times a week, check it off in a checklist. 2 days you didn't cheat, you know, you progressively overload yourself, you make it easy. It's like 10 seconds of, I don't know, 10 seconds of exercise, I don't know, eating one meal in a week of carnivore. 10 minutes of meditation, half an hour of scripting when you wake up. Make it easy for you so you can't fail. So start getting those wins and start thinking back. Look, when I was 10 years old, I was sleeping in class. Look how far I've come. I made a video that is extremely educational, and before, I provided nothing to the world. I was only a liability. I was sleeping in class every single day. Don't you remember anything? Remember nothing from grade school. See where I am now. See where I am now. Before, shitting myself every day, pissing myself in bed. Now, I can sleep without pissing myself. Progress! I can tie my shoes! I remember those times I actually learned tying my shoes. I couldn't before. I still have 2 legs. I still have my arm, even though I broke my kinder bone or kidney bone 2-3 times. It's a true story, I did that. And I can still use my arm flexible. I can throw stuff with my shoulder. Look at my glasses. I'm grateful. I couldn't even see anything if it weren't for them. This shirt is cool and it's cold, and without this, I wouldn't be able to do my recording as well. Gratitude, small wins, celebrate. I'm so grateful for recording this video right now. I'm so grateful for giving this advice. I'm so grateful for the speaking tactics I have learned. procrastination, the delay between thinking of doing something and not doing it, or the delay between thinking of doing it and doing it. You need to lower that. You need to lower that. You think of a business idea. No reason to wait. You think of a speaking tactic. Go out, practice it. The craziest people I know, I did this myself and it felt amazing. I made so much progress. I read a book about speaking skills the day after I was there with my gestures, with hands above my stomach, with trying to eliminate an trying to sometimes speak slower, sometimes speak faster, walking around the room, don't be afraid to stand still, lowering my voice, changing my voice. Trying to look at the camera, eye contact. I learned about those things. And I used the day after. I could have done it the same day, but I didn't. But even though, even 1 day is good, right? As fast as possible. Because when there is something, you need to take action, right? Action is important. There is something you like, oh, holy crap, this is important. Use it. The moment I learn about, law of attraction, you need to think of, I'm the winner. Literally visualizing yourself recording this video, I learned about that and how that it can potentially be very effective. Instead of me as, oh no, it's too good for me. I eliminated the ego and listened to the guy who has got what I need. The guy who has got millions of subscribers, thousands of subscribers. I listened to the guy, eliminated my ego, and then I wrote this fucking down on a piece of paper because I knew that I wanted to read it many times. I wanted to see it. I didn't want the excuse of, oh, it's on my phone, I have 200 documents. No, I have it there, so I won't miss it. My bed is on the floor. You can't really see it right now. My bed is right there on the floor. Stand up. I look at the daily affirmations that I tell myself. And I tell myself them because I need them as reminders when I go about today. I'm writing what I want, the ideal person. The ideal person for me is a confident guy, a generally happy guy, not a depressed, negative thought guy, a guy who makes quick decisions, who takes consequences of his action, of all quick decisions, better than overthinking, because overthinking is my bottleneck, so I need to eliminate that. And then I wrote down I have full control of my mood. I'm tired. Yeah, I can go running and then record a video. Does not matter. I'm sleepy, but I can't record a video. Does not matter. I do what I said I was going to do. Keep my promise to myself. And then I also wrote down success and growth come from the daily actions and the person you become. So celebrate the daily actions that moves you close to your goal. Celebrate this amazing video. Celebrate this story you've made. Celebrate reading half a book. And then think to yourself, most people don't even read a book in 10 years. And I read half one in a day. Imagine that. And then 5. Act like the winner. Act like the one who's already got it. Law of attraction. Those 5 reminders I have every single day. For they will definitely aid me in my life now. But my point with this section is that as an action step, when you were watching this video, it's been 20 minutes. By this point, you have probably gotten a thought of something you can do. You're probably watching this. Let's say it's your bedtime. You're watching this like around your bedtime, and you're like, you get this thought of, oh yeah, that thing. Maybe it was, oh yeah, scripting a video. And then you're like, oh, we'll do it tomorrow because it's my bedtime. What if I told you that script that video right now? Oh, but it's my bedtime, I'll get bad sleep. if you script that thing, because that thing is in your mind, it's annoying you. If you start scripting right now and finish it right now in like half an hour, 40 minutes, I can guarantee you will sleep better. You will sleep better, and you will have gotten one more scripting done. That's what I do now. Sleep is important, don't get me wrong. But if I'm there, I'm thinking about this thing, I'll record this video, script this thing, or read this chapter. The less time between me thinking of doing something, the better. Even though it's my bedtime. Because I've found that I have the lowest brightness on, I still do it, I feel better. And it's like I get momentum as well. If I record a video in the evening, I can still make a really good video. And the day after I have the momentum, it's easier. The more I do one habit, the easier it is to do. So if I literally record in the morning and then before bed one video, I will literally carry on with the momentum, and the day after it will be even easier to record. It is weird, that's my experience at least. But the point is that when you're going about your day, when you are just thinking about it, do it as quickly as possible. You're like, oh, I don't want to do work. Then do 2 videos. You're like, oh yeah, I will record 1 video tomorrow. Do that 1 video right now. Try that. Oh, but it's only 1 video. I will do it tomorrow anyways. Just try it, bro. You're like, oh, it won't really make much of a difference. Try it. Because the only reason why you wouldn't do this action step right now is because your ego is so high. Oh, I don't really need to do it, I can do it tomorrow. Do you hear yourself? I can do it tomorrow. Procrastination brain. You're like, oh, but that's not really procrastination. I need to sleep. It's still procrastination brain. You know this. It's the same feeling you get when you relapse. It's the same, it's craving. It's like the back of your head. It's the same voice. And it's not coming from there. It's coming from there, back there. It's the monkey. It's back there. It's the monkey mind, right? It's it. It is. So go do that right now. Literally, you could even be as insane as me, because it does change. Because you're watching this, you're like, oh yeah, it makes sense. And then you watch the next video, and then you sleep, and then you forget all about it. So, as a fucking second action step, write down the first action step, which is eliminate the time delay between thinking of doing that thing and actually doing it. Write that down on a piece of paper with a pen. It is fine to use Note app, it is fine to use a computer, but ideally on a paper. But you're like, oh, papers, I throw them everywhere. A paper on the wall. Then it won't disappear. Then you will be forced to read it. But you're like, that's unnecessary because it's just 1 day. Okay. But if you write this down and you literally underline it, circle it, and you go all in on it, all in, you're like, you're reading it, you're like thinking of, oh, should I read, and then you look at it, eliminate time delay between thinking of doing it, and then you're like, oh yeah, I should read, right? And then you read right now, you instantly, no time delay, you do it right now. Imagine that. Try that. You will see such a big difference. I need to remind myself constantly of doing this, and so I make a video of it so I remind myself even more. And it's crucial. It is important. And do it. It will change a lot for you. And that is the end of this video. But before then, the ending story, as I have in all my videos. It's kind of like I have opening and ending story. This one is a pretty good one, so buckle up your seatbelts, boys. It's gonna be a 34-minute video. This story is pretty long. It's gonna be like 6-7 minutes, I think. So buckle your seatbelts and get ready. The world echoes, roars, moves a natural phenomenon, such as earthquake. This earthquake occurs as a byproduct of Darius's deadlift. 450 kg is what he can do successfully for 8 reps. The people in the gym, they looks at him in awe. In awe. And they're like, ooh. There is one man comes up to him. I see it's going really well. A guy, one of his hands behind his head, scratching, but still with a friendly little smile. It's getting better again. But recently, I have seen your bench. Pretty fast progress there. There he is. The same guy, the other guy looked embarrassed. I'm still not developing that fast. Besides, I can only do 120 kg right now. Darius laughed, and as he did, the gym reacted, but not in an offended way, but more of in an interested way. Darius speaks up. You know, he said in a... Just last month, I saw you struggling with 100 kg. So going up 5 kg is actually really good progress. But I would not recommend to push too. Why would you say that? He asked in a neutral tone the other guy. Darius stretched his neck back muscles, said. Progressive overload is a concept that many do not understand, and it took myself months to get a grasp on it. Progressive overload? Darius noticing his questionable look. He might not be aware of the term, so Darius decided to enlighten the younger lad. This progressive overload is where you successively and progressively increases the weight. There is no point going all out if you do not feel the muscle connection. If you're doing powerlifting, then lifting as heavy as possible is the way. If you're going bodybuilding, then high reps is the way. But if you want strength and muscle mass, then around 1.12 is more to the ideal. But what's most important is the reps. It's actually trying to push as close to failure as possible, which isn't easy. Darius could see that the lad was still a little unsure, so he used a different method. Well, to put it in another way, it's when you go up little weight by little, instead of going from 100 to 120, from 100 to 110. If you increase too much, you will not be able to lift. And if you do, don't connect with the muscles as much. At that point, you won't get much result. If the weight is also way too high, it won't even qualify as powerlifting. The man nods and speaks up. I actually think I understand. I have actually noticed a little less connection recently, actually. Darius listened and gave a reply. Would you mind if I set for you time? Sure. That would be really helpful, actually. As they walk past the gym, in the gym, the girls can't help but stare. Darius notices, but he is fully focused. Regains his focus, he refocuses his focus, up ahead. He takes his training very serious, and even more so for this young man. He genuinely wants to help, so he walks past them and goes setting for the younger lad. "Show me," Darius said in a more serious tone. The younger man unracks the bar with the empty bar, the 15 kg, does some easy fast reps to get a little blood to the muscles so as to have a slight warm up. Good. You will be able to feel more as you warm up, but try to handle them as you would with other reps. I know it's light, but actually you will start to feel more if you do the reps the same way you would with higher weight, and the warm up will better. Oh, I didn't know that. I thought that doing them quickly would save time and have the same effect. Darius nodded in understanding. 2 big plates went on, and the little lad was now at 55 kg bench. And at this point he could feel a little bit. I can see that your chest starts to react more. We're almost there. Huh? 55 kg only? The young lad kept benching, and he then added 2 additional smaller plates to the bench. It was now 75 kg. Try benching now. Okay, the young lad said. He easily benched 20 reps, then he put the rack back. How did it feel? Well, doing all sets the same way, I could feel more, that's for sure. But you still don't feel it quite right. Yeah? Okay. What I want you to do now is first lower and drag up the weight. Much. Maybe even take a pause at the bottom for more addition and tension. I'll try, the younger man said, going much slower, and after 5 reps, he could already feel the burn. Darius notices this, so he readies himself. And as well as that, he says, "Come on, you've got this. Can't be satisfied with 5 reps, can we? You can do so much better. Get to 12 reps, at least." He's at the bottom, young lad, struggling to put up the weight. But he is tired after only 5 reps. When he is on the 10th reps, he grunts and almost falls with the weight. "Don't worry, I've got you covered. Another rep." The younger lad is trying and pulling with all force from his glutes. He managed to put it up, but this time not so slow, as he had not much strength left. It was almost a failure, he thought. "Another one," Darius said. "What? Seriously, I know one more is possible." The younger man with determination tried. He was grateful for the biggest guy in the gym helping him and keeping him now accountable. "I'll get it," he said. A deeper tone for the first time, in a very manly tone. He said, voice full of tension and exhaustion, but he still got out that response. He was almost at his limit, or that was what he thought. The younger man is now at the bottom. He struggles taking it up. He uses all his force to try to shoot it up, but he only got it halfway up, so he got it down again. Next, he tried normally to get it up, but that didn't work either. He just couldn't. He once again shot with all he's got. Glutes full force, legs full force. Almost went standing the legs. He almost stood up. And he was about to drop the weight. He couldn't really. And then Darius took the bar. Huh? The younger man went to the floor, probably never before gone that close to failure before. "You did well." taking a natural breathing, pauses in the middle of his word. He said, I mean, thanks, but 75, it's insane. Darius offered his hand, and the younger man went standing again, heartbeat at an insane rate. Did you feel your muscles just now? Oh, definitely. I think I'll be sore for days after, even though it was just one set. I'm glad. I recommend giving this a shot. It really was effective, but I feel like I would need someone to set for me if I were to do that ever again. Fair. Maybe get some friends to set. Or if I'm here, I could help you a little bit. Oh, what a great offer, but wouldn't I disturb your training? No, not really. I'm going here, not only for the training aspect, but also for the environment and the social setting. Oh, I see. Well, thanks for today. No issue at all, Barry said, smiling. He and the younger lad shook hands. That was that. At this point, Darius gets an idea in his head. His brain tells him to write down the story. Maybe it can help other guys in his business. So he moved once thinking of the idea. Gets his notebook with the pen, write down some bullet points of the things that just happened, and then once again went back out to the training. He did this, taking notes, despite being in the middle of a training session, for he knew that he would eventually use it. He didn't want anything important to be in his mind. He had a habit of writing things down, and if they were really important, he put them on his wall above his bed, so that he wouldn't forget the content and the thing. Constant reminding himself. He also knows that thinking of doing something almost takes as much energy or equal to that of actually doing the thing. Thoughts is the single most energy consuming thing after all. Rather than thinking about it, he does it instantly or as fast as possible. And as he do that, he owns up to the consequences of those actions. But he still do it right now, as fast as possible.